When sports commentator Stephen A. Smith unleashed his thoughts on WNBA players and the league's leadership under Commissioner Cathy Engelbert, he brought to light a deep-seated frustration felt by many fans and analysts. This critique went beyond a single questionable decision. It served as a wake-up call highlighting how Caitlin Clark, one of the league's brightest and most influential stars, was being undervalued. Smith's words echoed the sentiments of those who believe the WNBA's leadership is missing crucial opportunities for growth and visibility.
You didn't want to, rather. You were a bit hesitant and reluctant and resistant to it. So much so you didn't push for her to be on Team USA. So much so you had people like Cheryl Swoops who didn't even want to mention her name.
Imagine a league where its most exciting, transformative player seems to be held back by the very organization she hopes to elevate. Caitlin Clark's historic debut season attracted record-breaking crowds and soaring viewership, reinvigorating the WNBA's fan base. Yet, rather than fully embracing and building on this momentum, the league's response was disappointingly subdued. Fans are now questioning whether the WNBA can reach its potential or if it will continue to falter. As we delve deeper, underlying issues emerge, highlighting a league at a critical crossroads. Stephen A. Smith is unreserved in his critique, pointing out just how much is at stake if the WNBA fails to make substantial changes.
And everybody talk about other WNBA players not being appreciated. Nobody insulted them. Nobody dismissed their contribution. We were simply saying, despite the contributions for years and years and years, a lot of people didn't care. Fair or not, until Caitlin Clark came along.
When Stephen A. Smith shares an opinion, particularly with his trademark intensity, it resonates widely across the sports world. This time, his critique was directed squarely at the WNBA, specifically its veteran players and leadership under Commissioner Cathy Engelbert. In a searing analysis, Smith accused the league of failing to recognize and harness the incredible potential of Caitlin Clark, a player who captivated audiences with her record-breaking performances and dynamic presence on the court. Smith's comments cut to the core of an issue that many fans and analysts have quietly murmured about for some time: the apparent disconnect between the talent showcased on the court and the strategic choices made in the boardrooms. This frustration wasn't about a single oversight. Rather, it highlighted an ongoing pattern. How could the WNBA repeatedly overlook one of its brightest stars, potentially jeopardizing the league's growth and reputation?
But if you went the opposite direction, it could have helped that much and facilitated you being in an even stronger position to get yours. But you didn't do it. You didn't do it. Wow.
A recent example of the WNBA's missteps occurred during Assist Week, when the league celebrated but entirely botched Caitlin Clark's record-breaking assist total. It was shocking to fans that a historic achievement could be misrepresented, with the incorrect number posted. The oversight was so glaring that the tweet was fact-checked by the community and ultimately had to be corrected and replaced. Let's not overlook when Clark, as the sole awardee, received only a simple phone call for recognition. This raised serious questions about the WNBA's vision and commitment to its star players.
They decided that they were going to let her know she was Rookie of the Year with a phone call in Connecticut during a practice before a playoff game. You can't make this up.
It wasn't merely Stephen A. Smith's intensity that made his critique resonate so deeply. It was the uncomfortable truth within his words. Smith voiced what many fans and players felt, but hadn't often expressed. This wasn't simply about acknowledging achievements. It was about respect, investment, and the WNBA's capacity to grow. The message was clear. If the league couldn't rally around a phenomenal talent like Caitlin Clark, what hope was there for other up-and-coming stars? Smith argued that this wasn't just a one-off marketing failure. It hinted at more significant, underlying issues within the WNBA's structure. The league's reluctance to take bold steps and fully promote its standout players highlighted an organizational culture struggling to align with the fast-evolving landscape of modern sports. Clark's impact was unmistakable. Her games became must-watch events that attracted new audiences and reignited interest among longtime fans. Yet, the WNBA's leadership appeared uncertain about how to sustain this momentum.
It elevated television ratings, it elevated attendance, and it damn sure elevated franchise value. But now, something that y'all resisted talking about, opining about, acknowledging.
The implications of this disconnect extended far beyond Caitlin Clark alone. It raised questions about the WNBA's overall direction. Stephen A. Smith argued that the league's poor management choices could jeopardize its growth at a pivotal moment. Fans have been calling for greater transparency, stronger promotion of star players, and a clearer commitment to elevating the sport. Without these core elements, even the league's most exciting seasons risk fading into obscurity. This narrative was about more than increasing viewership. It was about building trust, instilling confidence, and shaping a vision for the future. In today's sports landscape, where momentum is everything, Smith's demand for change echoed with an urgency that couldn't be ignored. The WNBA now stands at a critical crossroads, with Caitlin Clark representing the heights it could reach. The pressing question remains: will this critique spark genuine transformation within the league, or will it become yet another missed opportunity in the WNBA's history?
Then are you willing to admit how stupid it was for y'all not to go all in speaking your piece to elevate Caitlin Clark? So therefore even more attention could have come and y'all could have reaped the benefits? Now you're gonna do it anyway, and I get that, but you see my point?
When Commissioner Cathy Engelbert appeared on national television, many anticipated strong support for the WNBA's brightest star, Caitlin Clark, and a clear vision for the league's future. However, her comments left fans, players, and analysts perplexed. During her appearances on 60 Minutes and CNBC's Power Lunch, Engelbert's words spoke not of progress, but revealed a troubling disconnect in leadership. When asked on 60 Minutes about Clark's significant contributions, Engelbert's response was striking. No league's ever about one player, subtly deflecting focus from Clark's record-breaking season and diminishing her individual impact. This sentiment may have been meant to emphasize team importance, but in reality, it downplayed the unique impact Clark had on boosting viewership, engagement, and fan enthusiasm. Fans quickly took to social media to express their disappointment, viewing Engelbert's words as a missed opportunity to celebrate a talent who had revitalized the league. Engelbert's leadership approach became even more puzzling during her appearance on Power Lunch, where, when discussing the league, she focused on how rivalries drive viewership, steering the conversation toward marketing and audience numbers rather than celebrating individual achievements.
One white, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another.
By focusing on rivalries, Engelbert overlooked a critical issue: player safety and fair treatment. Her emphasis on rivalries rather than addressing substantial safety and fairness concerns left players and fans questioning her priorities. This was more than a mere PR misstep. It underscored a disconnect between the league's leadership and its most pressing issues. While the commissioner spoke of fostering rivalries to drive ratings, players like Clark were dealing with inconsistent officiating and physical challenges that could threaten their careers. The league's reluctance to tackle these safety concerns raised doubts about its commitment to player well-being. Fans want more than just excitement. They demand fairness and integrity, foundational elements of a reputable sports league. Engelbert's approach has brought the WNBA to a critical crossroads. Players are pushing for change, fans are demanding improvement, and analysts are observing carefully. The current direction of the league's leadership risks not only losing the momentum created by stars like Clark, but also undermining its long-term credibility. The key question now is whether Engelbert can shift her focus from marketing sound bites to implementing meaningful actions. These leadership missteps are not isolated incidents. They point to a broader narrative about the WNBA's priorities. While Engelbert has achieved some progress in increasing the league's visibility, these moments expose a leadership style that many feel falls short of what is needed for true growth. Beyond public statements and policies, there are deeper issues at play, challenges within the WNBA that impact every game and every player, shaping the experience of both athletes and fans alike. What are these challenges, and how do they influence the future of the league?
I said Caitlin Clark, rising tide lifts all boats. As much as her presence was maximized by the WNBA, you players could have done more to assist.
While high-profile critiques and controversial statements from WNBA leadership grab headlines, deeper issues within the league affect every game and each player's experience. The WNBA has long struggled with inconsistent refereeing and ongoing concerns over player safety, two areas that heavily influence the quality of play and fan engagement. Both players and fans have voiced frustration over officiating that can range from overly strict to surprisingly lenient from one game to the next. This inconsistency disrupts the game's flow, leaving athletes uncertain about how the game will be called on any given night. It's more than a minor irritation. It poses a genuine safety risk. When players cannot predict the level of contact allowed, they are more prone to injuries, which only adds to the physical demands of the sport. A comparison of calls on Clark with NBA officiating reveals stark differences in approach and highlights the need for more consistent standards in the WNBA. The problem extends far beyond the court. When players like Caitlin Clark push the limits of athleticism with sharp cuts and fast-paced drives, the risks grow even higher. However, the WNBA's response has often focused on promoting marketing-friendly narratives, like rivalries, rather than tackling core issues. This emphasis creates the impression that the league values optics over meaningful improvements. Player safety is directly tied to these officiating issues. Clark's remarkable season, marked by high-speed plays and ambitious moves, highlighted these concerns, as she received a disproportionate number of flagrant fouls, raising red flags among analysts. The WNBA's failure to implement stronger safety measures and ensure consistent officiating not only affects Clark, but places all players at increased risk. Beyond the players, these issues deeply affect loyal fans who crave a well-managed, fair competition. To be clear, fans aren't asking for special treatment. They simply want consistent and fair officiating, so the focus remains on the game itself, not on off-court controversies. The disconnect between what dedicated fans expect and what they witness grows wider when officiating is inconsistent and safety concerns are overlooked. Take, for example, the technical foul on Clark for simply hitting the ring post, a call that felt unnecessary and highlighted the inconsistency in officiating that frustrates both players and spectators alike. This isn't just about officiating or player safety in isolation. It's about the broader perception of a league that must demonstrate it values player well-being as much as it values boosting viewership. The stakes are clear, but the question remains: will the WNBA acknowledge and address these deeper issues before they erode the trust of both players and fans? Caitlin Clark's breakout season was more than a collection of impressive stats. It symbolized the WNBA's potential when supported strategically. Yet the league's response to her popularity revealed major missed opportunities, sparking doubts about its direction and dedication to the athletes powering its success. One glaring oversight was the lack of a comprehensive marketing and merchandise strategy around Clark's rise. Fans were flocking to games and watching from home in record numbers, eager to support both the league and Clark herself. However, limited merchandise and understated promotions sent a disappointing message. While players like Clark excel on the court, the league struggles to keep up off it. Beyond marketing, the WNBA's approach to player advocacy has also faced criticism. While highlighting rivalries and competitive matchups can increase ratings, it often overshadows the deeper stories, the journeys, challenges, and roles of players as advocates both on and off the court. Caitlin Clark's rise offered a unique opportunity to spotlight the personal and professional lives of players who serve not only as athletes, but as influential figures in their communities. This was a chance for the WNBA to align with its players' narratives, showcasing how these women balance the dual roles of competitors and advocates. Clark's impact extended beyond her athletic prowess. Her performances drew attention to the WNBA's potential to attract new audiences, from college basketball fans to casual sports viewers. This surge of interest wasn't just about her skill, but the excitement she generated, proving that compelling personal stories can translate into benefits for the entire league. The question then arises, why wasn't the WNBA prepared to seize this opportunity? With Clark illustrating the league's possibilities, the WNBA now stands at a pivotal crossroads. Will it learn from these missed chances and become a true advocate for its players, or will it continue to let golden moments slip away? Caitlin Clark's debut season was a brilliant display that drew widespread attention and admiration throughout the sports world. However, the WNBA's response to this remarkable surge of interest exposed critical gaps in its leadership and strategic vision. From the understated acknowledgement of her Rookie of the Year award to Commissioner Cathy Engelbert's controversial public statements, the league's priorities have come under scrutiny. The reluctance to fully embrace Clark's star power, coupled with ongoing issues around player safety and inconsistent officiating, has fueled a broader debate about the WNBA's direction. Fans and analysts are now more aware than ever of what's at stake. Clark's influence is not just a passing moment, but a potential turning point for the league, as her performances revitalized viewership, attracted new fans, and highlighted the WNBA's potential to reach new heights. However, potential alone cannot drive the league forward. Without substantial change, the opportunities of this era may slip through its grasp.